So I've been reading up on you a little bit, and I realize you have sort of an interesting background. Born in Tokyo, raised in Singapore. How did you come to acting as a profession?
So while I was in Singapore, it's kind of weird. I don't really know exactly how it kind of just happened. I started doing these short films. There was an NYU school in Singapore, and they were, one day, I guess, I don't know, someone knew someone, and they were looking for a little kid to be in one of the movies, short films. And so I just started doing those, and then I became like the little kid for NYU school in Singapore. And then from then it kind of just progressed, and I started, doing auditions for movies in the US, got an agent, and then about, 6 years ago, moved to Los Angeles. And then, just kind of progressed from there.
So what drew you to this part?
I hadn't done a horror movie before, so I thought it would be, it'd be really great to, be able to, get in there, get bloody and dirty. And I don't know, all the sort of like horror movie stuff. And I just thought, cause I just feel like when you watch like a horror movie, you really like, I have trouble watching horror movies because they really freak me out, but I thought it would be kind of fun just to see like how do you build suspense and all of that. So yeah.
Yeah. Are there any particulars that get to you?
Oh, horror movies?
Any horror movies? Yeah.
Oh my God. Well, the thing is, I really don't watch horror movies because I really freak me out. But for this movie, the director was like, "Oh, you should watch this and this and this and this." And he's really into horror movies and can really stomach a lot. So like, I'm sitting in broad daylight with my ears and eyes like this, watching was one called like The Witch or something, and it was about this goat, and that was really pretty terrible. It really freaked me out. And so that one I remember in particular was like, wow. I'm more in the sort of Jaws range in terms of scary. That's like my peak.
So in a genre film like this, obviously there's only a sort of a limited amount of time to build out your character at a human level. Yeah. And I'm curious how you approach that as a performer, building out your character and kind of maximizing your screen time to show the human side as opposed to, the getting stabbed sides of
exactly. Well, I think the good thing about this movie was that, it did kind of give some moments to sort of be able to really express your character and sort of, really play into more than just as you said, just the stabbing and the creepy stuff. So I think, for me, it was like just trying to really make sure that, you realize that would you just, realize when those moments are happening and then really just try and deliver, just sort of, allow the audience to, kind of feel more of a connection to your character. So I think those moments were really important. And I'm glad that the movie, allowed us to have them.
I gather this film was a COVID production. And was it your first COVID film?
Yeah, it was. So it was different. I think, there were a whole lot of, there were all sorts of different things. Like we had to get tested 3 times a week, but, luckily we really met this sort of sweet spot while we were there. It was this couple of weeks we were filming in Canada, and Canada had been on pretty kind of strict lockdown. So it was this couple of weeks when there were like super low cases, while we were filming. So it was really kind of a great moment to do it.
I've spoken with Theo and I've spoken with Jordan about the film, and it occurs to me you're sort of the young one brought into this group of rather well-known character actors and genre performers. What's it like for you to step onto set, or I guess step out into the field with folks of that caliber?
Yeah, it's always really great to be able to work with, other actors who have had a lot of experience, on set and, performing. And I think it's, you always pick something up, whenever you work with someone new. And I think that's really one of the joys, of, doing new movie, new productions and whatnot, is you're always learning new stuff.
What was it like for you at a technical level, filming, out in a cornfield, working through these sort of makeup effects, things like that?
Yeah, I think one of the things with this movie that was to be honest, I'm also I'm not good at horror, but I don't like the cold. So there was, I think there were a couple of nights when we were filming really late and it got really cold. And so I think that was difficult, but I think, whenever you work outside, there's definitely certain difficulties, sound, whatever it may be. And I think the cornfield really added to that because, it was really difficult, being, mic'd up and whatnot, and the corn brushing past you and all the sort of, and all that. So I think, just kind of being conscious also just about your surroundings in general, because we weren't in a controlled environment.
I gather you have a lot of interest outside of film as well. And you've been, traveling in Europe, looking at historical locations. I'd be curious to hear you speak to your interests in that realm.
Yeah, sure. So as a sort of graduation, sort of getting into college trip, I kind of planned out this. We went to 8 countries in 8 days. So I'll just name a couple quickly. I went to Slovenia, Croatia, Bosnia, Montenegro, Albania, a bunch of others, all in that region. And it was really amazing. We went to, we just kind of exploring that part of Europe, which I'd never been to before, was really a treat. And it was also interesting because that region, was so recently kind of war stricken during the Yugoslavian wars. It was only 25 years or so. So it was really interesting to see how the countries had progressed and sort of, come along through those, getting out of those difficult times. So it was really pretty incredible.
Are you of an Eastern European background? You can probably gather from my name. I'm of a Polish background mostly. So
yeah, kind of Russian originally. Russian, Irish, so kind of mixed.
We're nemesis then.
yeah, exactly.
And I guess one other question. I mean, you're very young, and I'm old and feel like I can't find any balance with anything in my life between my day job, my film stuff, family, everything else. How do you balance all of your pursuits? I mean, between education, acting. I gather you run your own company as well. How do you balance all of this? Because I think it's really quite impressive.
Yeah, I think, as you mentioned, I did a company. I started an exchange traded fund, which we launched on NASDAQ recently about focusing on, it's a fund composed of 50 companies most relevant to Generation Z. But, really, it's all, for me, it was one helpful thing was that I was homeschooled. So that allowed me to have an extremely flexible schedule. And I think also, it's really just, you just kind of pick your moments, and when you do have openings, you pound away on different things for me. If I'm filming a movie, any free moment I get, you have to shift to something else, be that school or working on, the ETF. And I think that really just trying to find those openings, free time to try and, slip in work and other stuff is really important.
So what does the future hold for you? Are there more acting gigs upcoming, focus on the finance side?
Yeah. So, I think for me, I'm going to go to college. I just got into Columbia, so I'm very excited. Yeah. Thank you. I'm very excited because I feel like, being in New York City will be really instrumental, and that I think I'll be able to pursue not only the acting front, but I'll also be able to run my fund. So I'm really excited to see how I can balance that. I think that'll definitely be a challenge, especially doing college and whatnot. But I'm excited for it.
Well, congratulations! I've enjoyed having the chance to speak with you. I'm in New York City right now, so my advice to you is make sure to find some time to enjoy New York City while you're here. Also, don't be too busy. But congratulations on the work in the film, and I look forward to seeing what you do in the future.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you.
Thanks, Julian. Best of luck.